All right, welcome back to Living Fit's 2 Minute Tuesdays. Hope everyone's had a great start to the week, getting stuck into their health and fitness goals. Good question this week from Roger, who asked, fast versus gradual weight loss, which is the best? So, loaded question. Love them. 2 minutes on the clock. Let's see what we can do. All right, so to diet hard and fast, or to gradually diet. So, look, at the end of the day, there's a time and place for both, especially when it comes to fast dieting. At the end of the day, fast dieting could be essential for, say, someone who has to lose weight for surgery, or has to drastically lose weight for a health condition, or someone who just needs to get ready for a photo shoot, a movie role, etc. There's always a time and a place for fast weight loss or fast body compositional goals. The problem with fast weight loss in particular is there has to be a large reduction in calories from your base normal. So what you're currently eating, or what your basal metabolic rate is, there has to be a drastic drop in calories. And at the end of the day, when you have a drastic drop in calories, you're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. At some point, you have to pay Peter back. And this is where people yo-yo diet. So they'll bring the calories down heaps, and then it's not sustainable, not maintainable, and then they binge, and then up and down. This is probably around about 65% of the population undergoing diets and body transformations are in this yo-yo dieting protocol. It's probably even higher. Now, like I said, there's a time and a place for fast weight loss. Now, the key is with drastic dietary measures or fast weight loss, you have to do what they call reverse dieting. So when you have brought someone's calories down drastically from their basal metabolic rate, or their normal caloric intake, you have to slowly bring the calories back up, so they're not going to drastically put weight back on. This can be problematic in itself, purely because what tends to happen is people restrict themselves off calories so much that all they want to do is eat everything in the fridge. You get that eyes are bigger than your stomach, but it happens on a massive level. Like I said, it's like borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. At some point, you got to pay Peter back. So here's always been my analogy with the people who have come and seen me with wanting drastic weight loss. And I'll use a 12-week analogy with this, a 12 or 24-week program. I say to my clients, look, at the end of the day, if you need to bring in 2,400 calories to maintain the weight you are now, if we're looking at fast weight loss, I'm talking about drastic weight loss, we might be dropping that down to 1,600 to 1,800 calories. So you're looking at like an 800 calorie deficit per day there, which is, it's huge, especially when you're so used to having 2,400 calories. So, but that person, if they can do it and they can stick to it, and of course we're going to have periods where, well, if you're going to do it properly, you're going to do it, we'll call it responsibly, they're going to have periods where they're not every day going to be at 1,600 calories, you're going to bring it up a couple of days, then down again, up and down, but they're always going to be quite, we'll say drastically under their basal metabolic rate. Versus someone who's going to do it over 24 weeks, the drastic reduction doesn't have to be there. We can halve it. So instead of having to slash 800 calories off per day, we only have to drop 350, 400 calories, which is a lot more maintainable. It's a lot more sustainable. Yes, you will not get the same results in the first 12 weeks. But what happens is that person who's doing it over 24 weeks can implement it a lot easier. It can be a lot more sustainable. It can be as simple as just removing a coffee and a snack from their, we're talking about a cafe coffee with milk in it. Could be as simple as just moving a coffee and a snack from their every day, which is maintainable and sustainable. But someone who's having to drop 800 calories a day, there are a lot more drastic measures that need to be undertaken to achieve that 800 calorie deficit, if we're just looking at it from a nutritional standpoint, of course. This, of course, is always made easier if we're doing weight loss with increasing energy expenditure, in other words, exercise. But if we're looking at this just from a dietary standpoint, It's a lot easier, it's a lot more maintainable, it's a lot more sustainable, and you also don't have to be as concerned with the 12 weeks that precedes the 12-week drastic dietary measures. So essentially that 12-week doing a drastic diet, when you add in another 12 weeks of reverse dieting into the equation to make sure that person doesn't put the weight back on as they increase their calories back up, it essentially still becomes a 24-week program. Or a 24-week nutritional protocol. So, look, at the end of the day, it comes down to the time frame you work in. Some clients have a 12-week or a drastic time frame. But if it's for long-term results, if it's for someone who doesn't have a time frame, I would generally always gravitate people towards doing it over a gradual period. One, because it's easier. One, because it's easy to implement, it's easy to maintain, it's easier to sustain. It's easier on the client. And it's one less thing that you have to worry about as a coach. Are they underreporting on their food logs because I've got them on such a drastic reduction, or they're following such a drastic reduction on their own? So at the end of the day, my choice is always going to be a slow or a gradual reduction in calories, because we see these drastic measures everywhere and everyone wants results tomorrow, even though they've been neglecting themselves for 20 years. I always analogize this in terms of like a credit card. Imagine if your body was like a credit card. You could have the body you want tomorrow or today, but pay for it over the next 24 months. All right, wouldn't that be something? But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. You got to put in the work first before you get the results when it comes to many things in life. So at the end of the day, I would prefer a slow, gradual weight loss or body compositional protocol. But like I said at the beginning, there is a time and a place when fast weight loss measures need to be implemented. Like I said, for someone who needs to drop weight for surgery or drop weight drastically for a health condition, get in shape for a movie role, etc. At the end of the day, it always comes down to the time frame. And in my experience, there is a very small percentage of the population that can actually undergo drastic calorie deficits for extended periods of time. Of course, when I'm doing it, I'm always factoring in refeed day, so I will bring the calories up a couple of days a week, because you can't keep someone 800 calories in deficit every day, because they won't function. They'll burn out, and that's the other problem. It comes down to sustainability. People who do these drastic measures, they don't quit them because they can't stick to they just burn out. It's too hard. They've eliminated so much to get to the deficit that they need to get to, that they're just not willing to do it after a while. So so like I said, there's a time and a place, but I will always gravitate towards a gradual weight loss protocol for my clients and for myself. So I hope this has helped. I hope you got a lot out of it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and like the page, and we'll see you next week for 2 Minutes Tuesdays. Thank you.